calculus. We are on page 15 in your notes. Oh, and actually, Ms. Bocelli, would you mind getting out some rulers to people? Yeah. Oh, you know what we do when we do geometry in here. Intro to geometry. And I do need to warn you, there will be a decent amount of notes today, a decent amount of writing. I promise after this, next class, we won't do any note-taking or whatever, but I do need a little extra focus from you today. First term, a point. I know you know what a point is, but we need to give it a precise mathematical definition. A point. And we're going to say that a point is a place in space. Thank you, Ms. Bocelli. A point is a place in space. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Here's a point. Kind of like my paper is the space. I've got a point there. There's a way that we're going to label these points. We're going to label points using capital printed letters. Capital printed letters. So please make sure you put a capital A by that point. And I'll do another one. I'll put another point over there. I'm going to call it B. Why not? I know that last year you did things like on the coordinate plane where you graphed some points. Does that sound familiar? You graphed a point, 1, 2, you labeled it. We're going to get to all that stuff later. Right now, no coordinates, just sort of on the paper. Next unit, we'll start dealing with the x, y axes and all that kind of stuff. Right now, though, they're just places. Number 2, a line. And I know you know what a line is, but we need to give it a very precise definition that may actually be a little different than what you think. A line. I'm just going to write this and we'll figure out what it says in a moment. A set of points extending forever in opposite directions. Makes no sense. Let's write it, then we'll figure out what this is saying. A line is a set of points extending forever in opposite directions. Please make sure you are writing down everything that I'm writing down. A little surprised some of you have finished writing when I haven't even finished writing yet. A set of points extending forever in opposite directions. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I'd like you to take your ruler, draw a line. How many points are on this line? I've got a point right over here. I got a point right over there. I got a point there and there and there. How many points are on that line? Oh, yeah, there are actually infinitely many points on the line. They're so close together you can't even see the space between them. Sometimes we'll highlight a couple of them, but that's what I mean by a set of points. Too many to actually count. Now, extending forever in opposite directions. I didn't actually do this right. I need to add something onto my drawing to show that this line goes forever this way and that way. We'll go with Jordan. I need some arrows on the ends. The arrows are what will make it a line. And we're going to see in a moment, if it doesn't have arrows, we're going to call it something different. There are infinitely many points on here, but I want to just show 3 particular points. Let me stick a point over here and call it capital A. Another one there, we'll call it B. Another one there, we'll call it, we'll go with Q. Why not? Change things up. There is a way that we name lines. We are going to name this using any 2 points that I see on my line. So for example, AB. I can call my line AB. And there's a symbol we put above them. And the symbol kind of looks like a line itself. It's something like that with 2 arrows. And what I want to say is our naming rule says it's named with any 2 points with that line symbol above it. Named with any 2 points and with one of these above. So I gave one name. There are going to be a bunch of other names. And Ms. Bocelli, can I give you a couple things? And I think we're ready to get the first word on our wall. So I named it AB. There are other ways you can name it. All I need is any 2 points. And let's just do the first one for right now. Cards are there.
Okay.
Tape's there.
And then how do...
So I would like the first 3 kind of together, but only one right now. And let's just kind of start from the leftmost door.
And then like at the top? Or
Yeah, let's go to the top so we can see things.
however much I can reach.
Yes.
Right next to each other? Like, so,
Let's just,
like that?
yeah, let's just do that first one for now, and then we'll go down. We'll go down. Yeah, perfect. Down and kind of like staggered would work. Yeah, but let's just do, yes. You're good. Let's just do line. I name my line AB. I can name it other ways. I could name it AQ because those are 2 letters, 2 points on my line. Coda, can you give me another name? BQ. There are 3 more names. Hands if you can tell me one of the missing names. Leo, give me one. Q, B. Aviana, give me another. QA. Noah, what am I missing? BA. Good. And please, let's not bend the rulers because then I have to buy new ones and I don't have more money to buy more of these, so let's keep them nice and straight. There will be 6 names here. And honestly, once we did the first 3, I thought the other 3 were kind of easy because we could just switch the letters around. Those are lines. Good so far? Oh, could I name that line A, B, Q? A, B, Q. Good? What's wrong? Aviana. Our rule said only 2 points. So I kind of want you to write down ABQ, and then I want you to cross it out. We cannot use 3 letters, only 2 letters. Always 2 letters for these things today. Next, number 3. A segment, which is also sometimes called a line segment. This is part of a line with endpoints. Part of a line with endpoints. A segment, or a line segment, part of a line with endpoints. So I'm going to go draw one of these things. And I'm going to put a big point at the end and a big point at the end there. And I'm going to say K, maybe I'll stick a point in the middle, V, R, no arrows. Stop, stop. We're not going on forever. Do we have these written down, Ms. Bocelli?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, not you. Like, not you. We means them. Our naming rule. This is a little different. I can't use any two of those letters. This is only named by using the endpoints with a special segment symbol above. Named only by the endpoints and we're going to put one of those, no arrows, above. Named only by the endpoints. With that symbol above. So, KR, no arrows in your symbol. KR is one way to name it. There is another name. RK. What did you say? RK, yeah, same thing Daniela just said. RK. Could I also call it KV? If you do that, you're actually not talking about the whole thing. You're only talking about start here, stop here. That's not what I want. Not going to be okay. Can only use the endpoints. You with me on that? One more thing in the notes, then we're going to take a little break and do some practice with kind of all the naming stuff. Our third thing is a little bit like a line and a little bit like a segment. It is called a ray. It is part of a line, but has only one endpoint. Part of a line, but has only one endpoint. Array, we wrote this, right? Array, part of a line, but has only one endpoint. I'm going to do one of these. I'm going to put an endpoint over here, and I'm going to put an arrow over there. W, M, C. Part of a line, but has only one endpoint. To name it, still two letters. We must, I think this one's probably the trickiest one to name. We must use the endpoint first, and then any other point on the line. It is named by the endpoint first, then any other points, and I'm going to use one of these things above that kind of looks like array because it has one arrow. Named by the endpoint first, and then any other point with one of those things above it. C, W, with my raise symbol above it. By the way, that symbol is always going to point in that direction. Even though my ray is going the other side, doesn't matter. The symbol always points towards the windows. In here. Different room at Bite Note. There's another name. CM, endpoint. Those are the only options. You can't do something like this, WC, even if you make the symbol can't actually go that way. That doesn't work. Not going to work. Only those two options. I do think that actually this part of today is the hardest part. The next page will be a little bit easier. But before we get to the next page, I want to do some practice with this stuff. Please keep your books out because I do want you to have those rules next to you. And we're going to take a look at something. Oh, man, I've got 2. One. 1, 2, 3. 1 Noah to pass back to Arthur. I need 1 for the document camera, and I need this for Ms. Bocelli. For you. First, so we are looking at part 1. There's a whole bunch of different parts to we'll get one sheet at a time, whatever. I want to draw a couple things. One thing that I don't like about the computer program I use to type these worksheets is it makes those symbols really, really, really small. I'll try to zoom in on this. That may not help at all. Can you see how many arrows there are on that symbol? 1 arrow, 2 arrows? 1. What is that? Line, ray, you know what? I'm going to get it in your head, and I'm going to count to 3. You're going to say the name. It's either a line, a ray, or a segment. And like, you're all going to say something. Yes? 1, 2, 3. It is a ray because there's 1 arrow. That wasn't really the question, though. The question was, let's draw ray to you. Do you know what direction it goes? Will it look like this? Or will it look like this? Or will it go straight up or straight down? Or it doesn't matter. Exactly. Which means when we have a quiz, I really have to look at everyone's quiz differently because they could all look different and they could all be correct. I'll do mine going this way. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do mine going down. Why not? This is not good enough, though. I need some points. I need 1 at the end point, and then a point somewhere else. I need to label them. Is this point over here T or U, or does it not matter? Hands, please. T, U, or doesn't matter? Let's do Leo. Why does it have to be T? First letter is the end point. That one has to be T. This one has to be U. And I actually need to see points. Every now and then I have a student who will just write the letter there. Not good enough. You got to show me a big point. Is number 2 a line, a ray, or a segment? Segment. You go draw it. Draw me a segment and label the endpoints L and M. You know what? I'm going to do one going straight up and down. Why not? Hands to answer this next question. Does it matter which point I make L versus M? Aviana? No. The only one where the order really matters is for array. I can put my L there and my M there. I could put my M there, my L there. Just make sure you... Could I even do this? Could I stick another point in the middle and say Q? Is that still segment LM? Yeah. The Q doesn't affect anything. You don't have to do that, but you can. Go do number 3. Which, of course, is our last type. It's a line. Jordan, what do I need to make it a line? You need 2 arrows, which also means the points I'm going to put on aren't at the very end because there is no end. It goes forever. Oh, you mean you actually want to see what's going on? How about that? Thank you. And the people at home will appreciate that too. Don't put your points at the very end, but kind of close. Or honestly, they could be in the middle. Doesn't really matter. Does it matter which one is which? No. One's J, one's K. Doesn't matter. That's all I have to say about that. On the bottom, I have some dots drawn. And I would like you to try to draw those various things. You know what? We're going to do one together, and then you're going to do the rest. I want to do the second one together, that XY. What is XY? Line, ray, segment. Just say it. Ray. Good. Starting where? X or Y? I think I have to start with the X. The first letter is where I start. So I'm going to start at X. And I want to go through Y. Am I good? They've got second lunch. That's why they're moving. Am I good? What's wrong, Jordan? You need an arrow. Perfect. Make sense? You try the other three. I feel like there's one of each in those three. See what you can do. Yep. Oh, oops. Oh, and please do use the rulers when you go to do these. I do want nice straight lines. Lines really shouldn't curve. That stuff's coming later in the year. Go do e-hall pass. Here we go. WZ, line, ray, segment. Which one? WZ. Segment, yeah. So, I am going to go do something like this. No arrows. Am I good or did I do something wrong? What were you saying? It's good? Aviana? What? Why am I wrong? They're end points. You can't go through them. Make sure you really do stop there. I shouldn't have anything after that. Shouldn't have, oh, now I lost the letter. Shouldn't have anything after there. If you did have anything after, get rid of it. Okay. Coda, ZX, line ray segment. That, two arrows, that's gonna make that a line. ZX. Danielle, your side. It's a line, which means when you draw it, you should be going through those 2 points, not just stopping there, and sticking arrows on the ends. Good. And Eric, line, ray, segment for YW. Perfect. I'm going to start at Y. I'm going through W. Don't forget your arrow. Not bad? Let's do some naming problems. One, two, three. Okay. And you know what? We're not going to bother with the whole sheet. We're looking at the sheet now that says part 2 on it. I want to name these. Actually, I want to do 2 things. I want to tell what the thing is and then name it using letters. And I don't think we have to do the whole sheet. I think I just want to do the bottom of the sheet. 4, 5, and 6. Number 4. 2 things we're going to do. First of all, line, ray, or segment. Don't say it. Get it in your head. I'm going to count to 3 in a moment. You're going to tell me what it is. Number 4. We're looking at 4. Have your answer in your head? 1, 2, 3. It is a segment. That's the first part. The next thing that I want to do is I want to name it using letters. How many letters am I going to use? But I see 3. Doesn't matter. We're always using 2. Does it matter which 2 letters I use? Because this is a segment, it does. Nick, what do you think I would name it? I-H. Good. There is another answer. H-I would also work. But you're not allowed to give me any answer for that one that uses a G. I want you to try 5 and 6, and maybe just look back at your notes how we named things. Tell me what it is. Oh, by the way, 5, cross out that little M. We're not going to care about that part right now. That'll come second semester, I think. Tell me what it is, and then name it using letters. I only need one answer, although I think both of these will have more than one way you could name it. Go try it. Right. Okay. Never a dull moment. Sorry, and do 6, did I say do 6 too? Do 6. Tell me what it is and name it using letters. There's no homework on this stuff tonight because it's Family Reconnect weekend, but after our test next week, you're going to have some homework to practice things just like this. Noah, what is 5, first of all? Line. How did you name it? LJ. That works. Arthur, how did you name it? LK. That works. Coda, how did you name it? Oh, okay, we already have that one. I think we could also use JK, or we could use any of those. Noah? Go do E-Hall Pass. Well, although we're about to go back in the notes right after this page. We could also switch them around. I'm not going to list all 6, but there are 6 answers here. Leo, what is 6? Ray. How did you name it? I've got an issue with that. When you name a ray, what do we have to start with? The endpoint. So even though it goes M-O, we've got to start with O. So I could call it O-M. Do you see what I'm talking about? There's another answer. Aviana. O-N would also work. But doesn't matter what direction the ray points, you always have to first give the endpoint and then something else. Do you see what's going on? We're going to go back in our notes. I'm actually going to stop recording this for a moment because otherwise it will just stop on me.